The movie is about a young man named Jiwoo, who works as a Webtoon writer specializing in horror. Jiwoo is facing a creative block and decides to visit Gwanglim Mansion, a rundown apartment complex rumored to be haunted, to find inspiration for his new Webtoon series. Upon arriving, Jiwoo sees a boy's figure in the mirror, but when he looks back, no one is there. Instead of being scared, he becomes more excited to explore the eerie events surrounding Gwanglim Mansion. He meets the caretaker, an old man, and quickly explains his purpose, even recording their conversation with permission. The caretaker, who prefers not to be named, shares that a past fire at Gwanglim Mansion claimed the lives of orphans, leading to rumors of ghosts in the building. Strange occurrences, such as unexplained noises and unsettling events, have been reported by residents. The caretaker begins the story with a man named Hyung-hoon, who lives in apartment 504. Hyung-hoon initially chose the apartment for its quiet atmosphere, essential for his novel writing. However, he soon experiences disturbances, including the sound of children laughing and his belongings moving. Despite these oddities, he tries to focus on his novel, dealing with personal problems with his wife and family. One day, after returning from a nearby pharmacy, Hyung-hoon discovers his laptop missing and a worn-out children's shoe on the floor. As he checks the shoe, a hard object falls from above, accompanied by the sound of children. Hyung-hoon reports the incident to the caretaker, realizing that the mysterious occurrences in Gwanglim Mansion are more than just rumors. Hyung-hoon and the caretaker, reviewing CCTV footage, find no one entering Hyung-hoon's apartment despite his claims of hearing children's voices and noise from downstairs. The caretaker reassures him that no children live in the apartment below. Despite skepticism, Hyung-hoon, curious and doubtful of the caretaker's response, visits apartment 404 directly below his. He knocks on the door of 404 with no response. Peering through the door's hole, he sees neatly arranged children's shoes and spots a pair matching those in his room. Convinced the child lives there, he angrily orders the boy out, receiving no response. Frustrated, he throws away the shoes. Later that night, awakened by a strange noise, Hyung-hoon discovers the discarded trash bag containing the children's shoes inside his apartment. Surprised, he hears a loud banging on his door. Peeking through, he sees 3 small children standing with their backs turned. One child turns around, startling Hyung-hoon. The strange occurrences continue. The shoes in the trash bag, initially a few pairs, now cover the floor in the hundreds. Hyung-hoon hears children's voices again and, looking up, sees 3 ghostly figures of children hanging from the ceiling. We're left in the dark about what happened to Hyung-hoon after the disturbing incident, as rumors circulate that the writer vanished, concluding the story. Jiwoo validates this, having heard of a renowned novelist's disappearance 2 years prior. The caretaker then resumes his narrative, this time focusing on Sunhwa, a resident of apartment 907. Sunhwa, learning about a man murdering his family through a radio broadcast, is later revealed to be Hyung-hoon's pharmacist. Unbeknownst to him, she's entangled in a forbidden romance with a married man named Hojun. After Hyung-hoon leaves, Sunhwa's coworker warns her about dating a married man, but she dismisses it. When Hojun calls, his voice raises suspicion, prompting him to abruptly end the conversation. That night, Hojun, drenched and looking distressed, confesses that his wife discovered their affair. Sunhwa, uninterested in drama, urges him to divorce his wife. Hojun, surprised by her request, explains the complexities of divorce. Seeking refuge, he stays at Sunhwa's apartment, urging her to keep his presence a secret. Awakening to a strange noise, Sunhwa finds Hojun asleep and investigates a shadow in the bathroom. Despite fear, she checks to find nothing but the bathroom light on, a leaking shower, and a radio playing. The next day, police inquire about Hojun's whereabouts, suspecting him in the murder of his family. Sunhwa lies to protect him but later connects the dots, suspecting Hojun as the murderer she heard about on the radio. Back home, she discovers Hojun's bloodied clothes, intending to flee with him. Panicking at approaching police sirens, she urges him to leave, but Ho-jun bizarrely insists on keeping his shower a secret. Alarmed by a knock on the door, Ho-jun, repeating a strange phrase, grabs an axe and heads towards the bathroom. However, upon reaching the bathroom door, he abruptly turned and insisted that Sunhwa should keep his shower a secret. The room transformed, revealing Ho-jun with a gruesome grin carved into his blood-splattered face. The scene shifts to Jiwoo meeting with the broker to learn his tale. It turns out the broker resides in one of Gwanglim Mansion's apartments. That night, the broker, treating a girl doll as his companion, laments its damaged head and futile requests for a replacement. After dinner, he notices a clogged sink, prompting a call to a plumber. Despite fixing the issue, the sink continues to clog and leak dirty water. Strange events unfold, including a mysterious hand closing the bathroom faucet, the doll moving, and its bracelet on the floor. At work, co-workers warn the broker about ghost rumors tied to Gwanglim Mansion, but he dismisses them. During dinner, another strange sound emanates from the sink. When the broker investigates a package that appeared, the doll moves on its own. Startled, he finds the doll lying down. Turning back, he's shocked to see the doll's head, capable of moving independently, right in front of him. Terrified, the broker retreats to his room, panicking further as the lights go out. Trying to light a lighter, he steps on plastic wrap and senses the doll's head behind him, featuring a sinister expression. The broker, fearfully recounting his story, insists it's not his fault, justifying that he was only trying to market the apartment. He reveals a stumped hand under the covers, suggesting his ordeal. Blaming the Gwanglim church followers for a potential curse, the broker confesses his predicament to Jiwoo. Despite the chilling tales, Jiwoo successfully completes the Webtoon series, garnering positive reader responses. The publisher, impressed, offers a lucrative deal to continue the ghost story. Intrigued, Jiwoo, despite girlfriend Dehai's concerns, eagerly returns to Gwanglim Mansion, promising the caretaker anything in exchange for more scary stories. The caretaker, pleased with Jiwoo's enthusiasm, shares a chilling story from the 6th floor. It revolves around a young man named Taehoon who visits his friend on the 6th floor of Gwanglim Mansion. Taehoon, having returned from abroad after failing his university entrance exam, plans to stay for a while at his friend Jae-suk's apartment. Upon entering, Taehoon is shocked by the apartment's dirty and mold-covered condition. Despite expressing his intention to stay for 2 weeks, Jae-suk welcomes him to stay longer, even claiming his parents' approval, though Jae-suk actually lives alone. Jae-suk, with an abnormally growing pimple on his face and a penchant for stale food, presents an eerie demeanor. The next day, Taehoon wakes up to find Jae-suk vacuuming the living room. Jae-suk leaves, instructing Taehoon to relax and consume all the food in the apartment. However, Taehoon discovers only stale food in the fridge, and the entire apartment, particularly one room, is heavily infested with mold. Disgusted, Taehoon buys cleaning supplies and diligently cleans the mold-infested room. Despite Taehoon's efforts, Jae-suk reacts angrily, prompting Taehoon to sense something amiss. He decides to leave but encounters a black shadow on the floor resembling a human. The phone line is cut, and Taehoon feels movement on the ceiling. However, when he turns back, nothing is there, and the shadow vanishes. Curiosity leads Taehoon to open the previously cleaned room, only to find it covered in mold again. Suddenly, Jae-suk enters the room walking backward, apologizing for his earlier anger. He claims his parents forgave Taehoon's actions and allowed him to stay. As Jae-suk reveals his ugly and slimy face, he discloses that Taehoon is trapped in Gwanglim Mansion for good, pulled by black hands from the mold-covered walls. After the unsettling tale concludes, Jiwoo presses the caretaker for details on the ongoing horrors in Gwanglim Mansion. He questions the caretaker about a devil-worshipping cult that supposedly had a presence on the land before the mansion was built. The caretaker hands Jiwoo a key, urging him to discover the truth for himself. On the other hand, Dehai, feeling bored, listens to a tape recording of Jiwoo's interview with the caretaker during his first visit. Strangely, she only hears Jiwoo's voice, with no trace of anyone else. Suspicious, she hurries to Gwanglim Mansion. Meanwhile, Jiwoo, following the caretaker's directions, takes the elevator to apartment number 1504. Along the way, he encounters a man in a hat behaving oddly, resulting in a frightening incident. Eventually, Jiwoo reaches apartment 1504, finding it adorned with talisman papers. Inside, he discovers a tape on the floor and plays it, hearing the caretaker's voice addressing him personally. In this revelation, the caretaker discloses that he is not the original caretaker of Gwanglim Mansion. Years ago, he was a robber planning to break into the mansion's safe with his partner Hee-dong, the man in the mysterious hat. Apartment 1504, like today, was filled with talismans back then. Intrigued by a cupboard, Hee-dong notices blood on it. When he shines a flashlight inside, he sees hair seemingly being pulled into the cupboard. Despite Hee-dong's fearful suggestion to leave, the caretaker, driven by his motives, dismisses the warning. Nearby, they find a corpse wrapped in amulet paper, believed to be the cult leader. The caretaker retrieves a key from the corpse's mouth and uses it to open the cupboard, revealing a safe with a substantial amount of money. Suddenly, Hee-dong hears chains moving, realizing the corpse is missing. In the pitch darkness with only a flashlight, he hears the chains again and witnesses the resurrected corpse approaching. Terrified, Hee-dong tries to escape, finding the door locked. When he turns around, the undead figure stands before him. After managing to escape from apartment number 1504, Hee-dong reaches his car but realizes the keys are missing. The sound of chains echoes, revealing the caretaker. Strangely, the caretaker gets into the car, claiming to have also seen the undead. However, his behavior takes a dark turn when he asks Hee-dong, "Do you want to see him again?" Suddenly, the caretaker transforms into the undead from apartment 1504 and swiftly kills Hee-dong. Returning to the present, Jiwoo finally locates the cupboard mentioned by the caretaker, and the malevolent spirit residing in the corpse materializes behind him. Overwhelmed with fear, Jiwoo dashes to the closet to seek refuge. The caretaker enters the room, expressing that his time with Jiwoo has been memorable, smiling, and walking away. Jiwoo is left trapped in the closet, his screams unheard by anyone. Meanwhile, Dehai arrives at Gwanglim Mansion, encountering Jiwoo, who declares his intention to stay there forever. This implies that he has become a wandering ghost, concluding the film.